Hey guys, this is Jeff on the Entrefied podcast. If you're not familiar with us, go to entrefied.com. It's www.entrefied.com. We interview authors, business owners, people that grow businesses, leaders, professionals. If you want to be on the show, take a look at that. We're in 37 different countries. If you got a message to promote, we're looking for things that'll benefit our listeners, and we're looking for those tips, traits, principles, struggles even that you went through in your life. You may be a business owner. You may be a business coach. We have a lot of business coaches that come on the show. So with that said, go to entrefied.com, join our free newsletter, and you get a lot of good stuff. You'll get our PAR workbook, which I highly encourage you to get. It's got the morning routine in it, and it also has a lot of questions to help you identify what you really want out of life. So with that said, let's go on and get into some of the other stuff that I really wanted to talk about today. Today I wanted to talk about this really simple subject, so I don't think I'll be long on this, is focusing on what matters in the moments. So focusing on what matters in the moments, not on something that's coming up. You know, we spend a lot of time sometimes focusing on the wrong things. So what do you mean focusing on the wrong things? Do you know what the right things are right now? What is it that you need to be doing in the moment that you're in, and then you do the next thing in the moment that that moment provides that you need to do? So you get that one done and you run right into the next one. But if you're always thinking about something else that you don't supposed to be thinking about, not necessarily wrong, but you don't necessarily need to be thinking about right now, you're wasting the time and the moments that you should be thinking about something else. That's a mouthful, right? But focus on the right things, guys. So have a planning time where you can sit down and go over some of the things, strategize, figure out what you're going to do and where you're going to move next, so to speak. But for now, make sure you're doing the right thing in the moment. Don't spend your time on something coming up. Spend your time on something you need to be doing now. The reason for the planning time is for you to have a set time for other things that need to be done. And if you're like me, I'll be honest with you. A whole lot of times, I do have my planning time, but most of the time I do push it. There's times that I do push it. It gets really busy, and I'm thinking, I'll come back to that. But I'm trying to do better with that. And there are times that I am able to do that, but there's a lot of days that I have to push it. I have to push it to some other time. Don't keep pushing it though. Don't keep pushing it off, because what winds up happening is you never get it done. And it's not that planning is, the end all, but it's a part of the puzzle. And that's where I want to stay just for a minute. I want to talk about that for just a minute. What gets you the best results? Would you say action does? I'd say right action does. But here's the thing: when you do right action for so long and you don't think about it, you don't plan, you don't study, you don't get more knowledge on the subject matter that you're in, what you wind up doing is you wind up becoming stagnant. And you really don't know what you need to do. So that's where the planning time comes in, where you've already set steps and in motion, so different projects you'll be doing, or different things you want to do, even in your life. We're not talking about just work here. I'm talking about in your personal life, guys, too. Professionally, personally. What's that 2 year look like for you? That 5 years, that 10 years? You think, well, I can't even see past the next 30 minutes. You need to start thinking about what you want and, spec that out. Try to figure out what that is. I wouldn't say that you spend all your time planning. I'd say you spend most of your time doing, but you do need, let's say out of the 8 hours, what's 30 minutes? Or what, maybe it's just a full 24 hours for you. What's 30 minutes out of that? And then what's another 30 minutes studying on something to better yourself in your career, or better in yourself in a particular area that you have a weak point or something like that? What's 30 minutes? So you're taking an hour a day on something to make you better and also help you plan on these areas. Guys, I hope you've got something from this. I don't want to waste a lot of your time today. Have a set time to do other things you need to do to get them done and plan things. You may also have research time, as I said, study time. This time is in place where you know what you need to do when the important events show up. All right, I'm going to mention this. Here's an important event. Have you thought about if something happens to you? What about your family? They're going to be taken care of? What about all those other things? Like, for instance, your insurance. You got to have insurance in certain things. What do you do there? If you don't have insurance on your house, or you don't have life insurance for your family, we need to start thinking about those things long term. I don't want to harp on this. You don't have to focus on them all the time. You just have a set time. And guys, I said this one was going to be short, so I'm trying to keep this podcast short. Go to Entrefied.com, get a free newsletter, read some of our articles. Got a lot of great content there. But guys, I want you to start focusing on some things long term. It's just not right here. What's in front of your face? It's not here. It's not here. It's not here. It's way out there sometimes. I'm not saying dedicate all your time to it. What I'm saying is dedicate a certain portion of time toward the things to make you better. And one of those things is learning more about maybe the craft that you're in, or, well, I call it your career because it is, your career. But what if you're, studying in college? You know what I mean? Some of the coursework, got to set time for that. What about planning for the future, as I mentioned here? And I'm talking about personal, professional. A lot of people, they just want to say, hey, professionally, this is where I'm going to be. Well, what about your family? What about your family? What are some of the things that you need to be doing right now for them? Or you need to be doing vacations? You need to have vacations with them? Believe me, they're going to grow up. Your kids are. What are you allotting? What time are you allotting? What amount of monetary funds are you allotting to have this time and these experiences? And how can you do that? Even if it's just, $10 here, $10 there. Make you a plan to grow yourself into where you want to be. Guys, that's all I have for you right now on this. I appreciate you guys watching. Go to our website. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.